And a good spiritual morning to you. Once again, I'm Father Cosmas. Thank you for joining me today from my prayer corner here at home for a quick chat and a cup of coffee. So I thought I would reflect really quickly on something that I saw on YouTube. One of my kids let me know that the new Batman trailer had just dropped. That's what I'm told the wording is. The phrase is, Dad, the trailer dropped on YouTube. And so I wanted to talk about that for a little bit today and reflect on it. Again, it's not a review of the trailer or the movie. It's just talking about the concept of these superhero movies from an Orthodox perspective. And the first thing that I want to say is, as we're thinking about now 2021 coming, the Batman movie coming out and being released, I think also Wonder Woman 1984, that's coming out. These are just DC movies, right? There's Marvel and there's DC. And so as I'm looking forward to 2021 and these movies coming out, and I'm sure more movies coming out from Marvel, I guess my first response is, really? More of these? Haven't we had enough of these? It seems like there's been 30 movies over the last decade that we've had to endure. Again, having kids, especially young sons, they want to go see these movies. And I've seen a lot of them, more than I would have liked to have seen. And again, I grew up here. I grew up in America. I grew up reading comic books, right? I grew up in the 70s. We had comic books and baseball cards. And, we still read those and traded them. So Batman for me, well, that was Adam West. Remember Batman in the original television series, which was hysterical, right? Adam West was Batman. It was over the top. I mean, the villains were ridiculous. The colors were so bright and overdone. It almost had like a Laugh-In. Remember that show Laugh-In? It had like a Laugh-In sort of feel to it. And you had Adam West sort of overacting, in his Shakespearean style. You had him on the one hand and William Shatner on the other, just overdoing it in these ridiculous characters. But it was great. That was Batman. Then we were excited when the first movie franchise came out. And we said, really, Michael Keaton is going to be Batman? Sure, why not? We were excited about Jack Nicholson being the Joker. And they started making those movies and pumping them out. Of course, they couldn't keep the Batman character the same. Before you knew it, Val Kilmer was Batman. And then, am I remembering right, was George Clooney Batman at one point, or did I dream that? Maybe that was a nightmare, actually. And then they reloaded the franchise after that ridiculous one, where you had all these big-name Hollywood celebrities coming in as the villains, right? Schwarzenegger was a bad guy, Danny DeVito was a bad guy, Jim Carrey. I think even Uma Thurman at one point was a Batman villain, technically, right? And they reloaded it with Christian Bale, who sort of cemented the role as Batman for himself, as he made multiple movies that were very well reviewed, and they loved him in the role. Then they wanted to reload it again, but they wanted to bring Batman into sort of the whole DC universe and have a crossover with Superman and Justice League, so they're going to recast him again. Now, Ben Affleck, of course, the guy from Good Will Hunting, he's going to be Batman? Sure, he's going to be Batman. He lasted a few movies. Now he's too old. Now we have to reinvent and reload it again. So next year, The Batman's coming out with, is it Robert Pattinson? Am I getting that name correctly? Is that not the guy from Twilight? Sure, he's going to be Batman now. So I guess my first point is, we need another retelling of the same story. How many Batmans can I remember in my lifetime, right? Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck. We're now on number 7, unless I'm forgetting 4 or 5, which I feel like I am with Robert Pattinson. It's ridiculous. Enough is enough. We have to retell the same story over and over again. Can you come up with nothing new? That's my first point. The reality is they're going to keep on making these things as long as we keep on going and watching these things. That's what business people do. They make money. They will continue to produce a product as long as there are idiots out there to consume it. I think at some point we have to say, enough. I know that story. Tell me a new one. Make something different. Make something new, something fresh, something I haven't heard over and over and over again. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. And the second thing very quickly is for us as Christians, as Orthodox Christians, we sort of tolerate superhero movies as long as there is some sort of a battle, an obvious battle between good and evil. then we sort of say, well, then there's some sort of a redemptive value. There's something instructional about it because it's showing us how to be good and how to fight against evil. Well, that kind of gets muddied a little bit. The waters get muddied when your hero is an anti-hero, right? Batman's not your typical hero. That's why the movies are always described as dark, right? This one's even darker than the last one. And I have to say, first of all, I don't take comfort in the fact that the main adjective being used to describe the movie is dark, or that the hero is not really a hero. Well, he's kind of a hero. He's conflicted. He's complicated. Sometimes he does terrible things, but he's doing them for the right reasons. I'm not sure that's the point that I would want to make to my child. It's okay to do bad things as long as you're doing them for good reasons. That's what it means to be a hero. Not so much, not for us as Christians. And so I would say that's something else to think about, why we also might want to skip this one. You know what? Just to sort of let people know that are producing these, enough is enough, come up with something new. But not only that, enough with the anti-hero, enough with describing something that's good as dark. It's not good, it's dark. Dark is bad, light is good. Let's get that clear in our minds. And no one needs to be complicated and conflicted and difficult in that way. We don't want to sort of make that point to our kids. We want our kids to know that they do the right things for the right for the right reasons. They don't do bad things for the right reasons. Always be making good decisions to do what we know is right. And we're making that judgment for us as Christians, not based on some sort of arbitrary set of rules that you can move whenever you want. They're based on the gospel of Christ. That's how we're living our lives. And as long as superhero movies reflect that, we tolerate them. But now they're not reflecting that. So we need to stop tolerating them and send a message that, you know what, enough is enough. Make something else for a change next year. Once again, may our Lord and Savior bless us and keep us this day and every day. Amen.